Hi guys, welcome back to a new video. Now today what we're going to be doing is another my first impressions of, and today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be discussing Graaf Generator. Now Graaf Generator was a prog band that emerged from the 70s, just like most of the other prog bands ever. And they are very good. I've been getting into their stuff within the past month. I've listened to 6 of their albums. This is the most recent one that I've listened to that we're going to be talking about today. I would go over all the other ones, but I feel like, I've kind of already listened to them and kind of forgot to make a first impressions video on them, so this is one that is fresh off my head, and so I will remember the songs good. Because I've noticed that if I make a review of a song, of an album, like a couple hours after I've listened to it, I don't remember the songs as well. They're not as fresh in my head, especially if I've listened to other music since then. Anyway, so, for Graaf Generator, today we're going to be discussing World Record from 1976. This album was the second to last before they disbanded until the 2000s. This album, as most Graaf Generator albums from the 70s are, there are only 5 songs on this album. Even though there's only 5 songs, 2 things. 1, they still all are awesome, and 2, it's still 54 minutes long. Like, wow. 54 minutes long? This is like the 70s. I feel like this was like the max that you could have on a vinyl, because they didn't have CDs or cassettes. I don't think they had cassettes in 76. I don't think so. Anyway, so When She Comes is the first song on this album, and it's a pretty cool opener, not closer. It's a pretty good opener, and it's just classic Graaf Generator, and I love that stuff. I love their sound in general. Like, their sound is so it's so cool, and it's like King Crimson but better. I don't really like King Crimson that much, although I've only heard their first 3 albums, so can't really judge a whole band off of their first 3 albums. But all those 3 albums, I mean, I do like In the Court of the Crimson King, but the other 2, they're okay. Anyway, back to this. So yeah, this is like King Crimson but better. It has like cool horns and stuff like that. I don't really need to explain their sound to you because most people who click on this video would already know who they are and have heard at least one song by them. So, yeah, this is a pretty good opener and a nice stage setter for the album. Now, the next song we have is called A Place to Survive, which is another great song. It's 10 minutes long. Pretty much exactly. And this is a really good song. I don't really have much to say about these songs, except they're all really good, and I love them. I gotta say, I know some people probably are critical of, Peter Hamill. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. His voice, a lot of people, I feel like some people would be turned off from Graaf Generator because of his voice, which is understandable, although the voice usually in most bands are if the band you actually like, but the vocals are then you might not like the band, because the vocals would be the main part of the song. So, whatever. Let's get back to this. This song is great. I love it. I personally love, his voice. I think it's great, and it definitely fits these songs. I can feel a tiny bit out of place at some parts, a little bit chaotic, when he's screaming, but I still love when he screams. He carries such an energy with him that is not seen with some of the other singers, from the 70s. Now, next one we have is Masks. Masks is the next song. Pretty relevant now because, the pandemic, there's stuff outside going on. So, Masks, this is a great song. Again, there's not much, there's stuff, I realize that they don't usually do guitar solos, or solos really that much in their songs, which I think is cool. It's nice to just let the music take you somewhere and not always have, soloing, looking at you, Dream Theater. I'm just kidding, I still love Dream Theater, but, yeah, so, I love this song, but that's only side 1. Side 2, Oh, okay. So, next song on the album, the fourth song on the album, the penultimate song on the album, whatever you want to call it, is Mergley's 3, the Songwriters Guild. Mergley's 3. My God, this is an amazing song. It's 21 minutes long, and you might think it possibly would get boring. No, it's amazing. And there's not even that much lyrics in the song. There's like a couple verses, but besides that, it's mostly just jamming. We're not jamming like jam sessions like they're a jam band, but like, you know what I mean. It's mostly just the other band members playing out on their instruments, and it's actually some solos for a lot of the song, which I think is great. I just love how this song has some quiet parts, and then it has some like really energetic and really like cool parts, and there's like, and after the lyrics are done, there's a cool funky groove in the song, and then it just takes you on such a journey. Like, this song is a journey. It's like there's you go to one section to another, and there's just amazing part after amazing part, and every song on here just it's just amazing. Every part of this song is amazing, and literally the only gripe I have with this entire song at all, I don't have any gripes about anything in this entire song, except the fact that it fades out. I've never been a huge fan of artists fading out songs. I get why it's necessary. You gotta shorten the song. You can't just have the full 10 minutes of a song that was going to be 6 minutes, because then it won't fit. Not everything will fit on the vinyl/CD. But I still don't like it, and I still think they could have either figured out an ending to it, or just not faded it out. And maybe shorten another song, because this song, I would love it for it to go on longer, actually. But it kind of just fizzles out in a groove and stuff like that, and it doesn't really, the ending doesn't really do much, which that's something for me that makes an amazing prog 20-minute epic. It has to have, one of the criterias for me is that it has to have a giant, just grand, epic ending, like the grand oomph of the song that is just so great. And that's missing from that. And not all the great prog epics have to end like this, although it's better if they do. Let's not get me started on Supper's Ready. I mean, yeah, I love Supper's Ready, I do, but it's kind of anticlimactic how it fades out. I mean, I know that it's still an epic ending to the song, like just the ending in general. Not the fading out part that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like the couple minutes before that is great. I love it. But it just kind of is like, it's a bit anticlimactic, in my opinion. And I like when songs have a clear, great ending, like Octavarium is the perfect example. It has a clear, grand, epic ending with a grand guitar solo and amazing stuff to end it, and a grand final note, and there's just an all-out amazing ending. It's a thing that I always not really liked but understood, but didn't really like with longer prog songs, because it kind of takes out the oomph of the song. So yeah, that was a pretty long tangent, I know, but nonetheless, I still absolutely love this song. Maybe my favorite. It might even be better than A Plague of Lighthouse Keepers. And I know, and everyone knows that song. That's an amazing song. It's again a journey. I might talk about that later, but that album later. But for now, we're sticking with this one. We got one song left. I know I spent like half the video talking about this one song / prog epics in general, but I just love the song so much, and this is the main attraction to the album for me. Even though I've only heard it once, I feel like going forward, if I'm gonna just randomly listen to Graaf Generator, I feel like if I'm gonna listen to this album, that's the main attraction to the album, and I think that is for most people. I mean, I don't know many opinions on this album, or even Graaf Generator in general. But I will say that I can almost guarantee that this is the main attraction to the album, and if it's not, then I will be very surprised, because this is definitely the best song on the album. So, we got one more left, and it's called Wondering. And to be honest, this song started out, and it was I didn't really like it that much. The first couple minutes of the song was kind of like, it kind of came off a bit cheesy and a bit, even a bit, like, overdramatic, kind of. Not much, but, like, the horns and, like, the strings and stuff, which I know they've had in their past songs, but this is the time, this song uses it as, like, a dramatic thing, like, something that, like, So Far to Fall by Emerson, Lake and Palmer off of Works Volume 2, does a lot, where the orchestra adds a bunch of over-dramatization to the song, which some kind of isn't needed. I still like So Far to Fall. It's one of my favorites off of, if not my favorite, off of Works Volume 2. But it's not, that's the gripe I have about that song, and that's also, the first couple minutes of the song isn't great. Well, however, it does pick up a lot in the last 4, even though, the last 2 are just the same couple lines repeated. I still like it, and I think it still it has that kind of sing-along it's sing-along, like, it's not like amazing, like grand it's not like that, but it's a more sing-along-y ending, but I still like it. It kind of reminds me of In the Lap of the Gods Revisited by Queen off of Sheer Heart Attack, the last song on Sheer Heart Attack, where it's like the first couple minutes is like it's like something else, and then the last minute and a half is just the same couple lines repeated over again. However, it doesn't feel that repetitive because the hook is amazing. That's the case for both of these songs. And even though this one fades out and In the Lap of the Gods Revisited doesn't, I think it still is a great way to end the album, although not the strongest song off the album, mostly because of the first couple minutes of the song, which doesn't really do anything for me. So yeah, that was my review on Graaf Generator's world record. This definitely is a world record for them. I haven't heard all their albums. I've only heard H to He, Who Am the Only One, Pawn Hearts, God Bluff, Still Life, and this one, I'm pretty sure. So I still have a lot of albums to go through. I'll probably listen to them all, but this is the one that really stood out to me the most. I might go back and do a song and do something for one of these other albums that I've already listened to later. But for now, we're gonna stick with this one, and maybe I'll go back and do some of those other albums for first impression videos and later, and also the other albums that I haven't listened to yet. I might do first impressions of, but I wanted to do a first impression of this album because I think it was definitely the one that stood out the most to me. So yeah, that's all from me, I guess. See you guys later. Make sure to subscribe and like the video and comment down below what you think of this album, your ranking for the album's songs, and what other Graaf Generator albums you want me to review, or just albums in general that you want me to review next. So, yeah. See you guys next time. Bye!